In this episode, it's all about Joep. I'm not even sure. Is it season 7? Is it just a special episode? We don't know. Brendan's being a diva, so we don't know where we're going with this. Um, Not Joep. Joep's not being a diva. I'm sure that's going to come later when his already inflated head gets even bigger. Um, where do we start? Before I get into it, it's really nice to be back in a room. We've done no prep before this. We haven't even talked. So we're just straight in, being as candid as you like. What's going on, guys?
You
I'll
go
let you
first.
start. I'll let you start.
Yeah, I'm good. It's been a chaotic couple months, but I've been really good, Phil. But it's not all about me. It's like 95% about me. Let's also put the let's also address the fact that someone in this world, and actually a really nice person, is actually crazy enough to marry Brandon. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll do a really formal one. On behalf of Let's Stick Together, we'd like to send our heartfelt congratulations to Brendan Creed and Madeline Hinch for their engagement to
Our
be
condolences,
wed.
our condolences to Maddie Hinch, but like,
Thanks, guys. Yeah,
hey,
what a crazy
how
start.
did you do? How did you pop the question?
We went on a 11-day road trip through Scotland, and then I did it up in the Isle of Skye. Yeah, a little bit stressful, but not too bad. By the way, no one tells you, and this is, I said this to Phil. I'm annoyed he didn't tell me. As a really good friend, I'm annoyed he didn't tell me. It is the most stressful thing I think I've ever done in my entire life was propose. Comfortably the most stressful thing.
Is that because you wanted it to go right, or you were nervous she'd say no?
Combo of the both. But it is like everything boils down to like literally a few seconds. Like that is, oh, it's horrible.
Not that
Like,
hard,
when
mate.
like, huh?
It's not that hard.
No, I'm
That's
not
what
saying
she
it's
said.
hard. I'm saying it's just scary. I think it's quite nice though. I think if it's scary, it's a weird thing. I think if it's scary, you still know you're really lucky to be with that person. Do you know what I mean? Let's face it, I'm lucky to be with Maddie. Let's not beat around the bush here.
Jesus Christ, this has got soft already.
I've missed you guys. But it is like I just think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I've just never been scared. Anyway, yeah, all went well, and look where we are now.
Right, I'll
All
you
happening.
before we get to you, I do like a brief monologue, and then we're gonna obviously talk about you because that's what the most of the podcast is. It was difficult to know where to start because I just wrote down a load of stuff, and it started with you won Olympic gold, and then yesterday decided to get nominated for the world's best player, which we've always been incredibly supportive of on Let's Stick Together. He offset that with losing 7-1 in an opening game to Amsterdam in the Hoofdklasse. Netherlands women almost lost to China in the Olympic final. GB men decided to lose to 10-man India in the quarterfinal of the Olympics. GB men decided to lose to 10-man India in the quarterfinal of the Olympics. Tongelkamp decided to both become a hero for his country by winning the Olympics for them and to make sure that he made himself known as the world-class knobber in the same moment. Belgium crashed out of the Olympics to Spain. What's that about? Tom Craig got arrested for picking up some cocaine, some Charlie, some snow, some nose candy, and I started with OG's my 7th club in 2 years. So where do we start? I, I I don't know where to go with that.
There's so much. Go in order. We'll go in order because I think that's quite fun.
You did what we all dream of. You climbed the mountain. You won Olympic gold. Um, can you, without talking for 15 to 20 minutes, let us jump in occasionally. But um, how's that been? How was it? How was your experience?
Yeah, it's still people like I always thought that people were like exaggerating in a bit when they say they come back from Olympics and they won something or they play very well and they're like, oh, I really have to like settle down and whatever. it's I can now honestly say it's true. It's still tough to like to realize everything that has happened. We had it was a bit of a weird tournament. I felt like with what happened with you guys, uh, the whole Tom Craig debacle. Right before we played our game against Australia, we saw Belgium got out against Spain. So yeah, everything that happened, like it felt like it happened in like a week, if that makes sense. So everything went by so quickly. Like it still feels like it was 2 weeks ago when I was walking to like 7 miles to the dining hall from our hotel or like our place, and going to Asia again, getting some rice because the rest was shit. Let's be honest. Uh, and yeah, and everything went by really quickly. I got sick even I missed the first 2 games. Played my 150th cap against like was meant to be against GB. Uh, Also a weird fucking game. Um, yeah, so I don't really know where to start as well.
I mean, I guess an easy point is what you've already touched on, which is like before we get into like you winning and the moment that is that we kind of did talk about it a lot in the fact that it was the most open men's side of an Olympic Games ever probably, and it turned out that way. Like we said, there was 7 or 8 teams that could probably go there and have success, medal, and it definitely kind of like yeah played out in that fashion. Um, with Belgium smashing their group stage and then going out to Spain, with Australia being winning the Pro League and then falling out to you guys in the quarterfinals, with us being on the rise and then having a crazy game against India. It went like that, and I probably made it a really good. I mean, it was terrible to be a part of in that quarterfinal, but like it's a good. I'm sure it was probably good for people to watch.
Yeah, I
It
think
was the best quarterfinals from a neutral point of view that I think there's been in a long time. I don't think there was. I think each game offered its own individual scenario, which is what I think made this. I genuinely think this Olympics, both men's and women's, I think was the most exciting it's been
yeah,
since
yeah,
I've been watching it.
yeah, 100%. And I think you kind of felt because Belgium. I spoke to Slover quite about the Olympics, and he also said like Belgium was kind of everyone's kind of a bit got scared again of Belgium because of like okay they were really smashing everyone in the group stage. They beat Australia 5-2, and in hindsight I think Australia just wasn't really on the tournament more than that Belgium was that good. Uh, but Slow also said like they never really got into it, and that's really weird when you win every game. But I said it never really felt right, and I kind of felt like we had in Tokyo. With us, it also never really felt right in the first couple of games because we kind of screwed. We missed the first 2 games. You play against France and you play against South Africa, and it's just you have to get a win. It doesn't matter how, you have to get a win. Then we really stupidly lost 2 points against you guys. Um, where Lee fucking Morton, he's like my nemesis right now. The fucker beat me 7-1, scored 2 goals against us in Olympics. So I even spoke to him. And he said that he's still. I think he took it personal that I said that he's the one hockey player who looks shit but is really good.
Yeah, he
Uh,
did take offense to that, but I was trying to talk him down from that.
no,
It was a compliment.
he said it to me after the game, like with a smile, and it was friendly. But he said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, Lee, but you do look like you can't play hockey, but you are really, really good." That's still my analysis. He beat me 7-1. He probably fucked me over a couple of times, but I still honestly believe he's the one player that looks really shit but is really good. So just listen at the "you are really good," Lee. Um, but yeah, and then I don't know how, but you guys we drew that game with you guys. Then we lost against Germany, and we were kind of like, okay, fuck, it's not happening all over again. Got 2-0 down against Spain as well in the final group game. So I was like, fucking hell, we're gonna end up fourth when we're playing Belgium in the quarterfinal. And then I don't know, so something turned on. We switched on, and we never really took our foot off the gas pedal. I think our best game was versus Australia, where I think 2-0. Like we for once, I think I felt like we were part of. Nah, not for once, but like our team was like defensively by far the best team that was there, together with Germany maybe, but like we didn't concede anything from the quarterfinals on. Like the one goal they scored was a missed corner, and it was Germany. It was the only goal we conceded in the knockout stage. Everyone was with their hands on the ground, diving for every ball, putting their life on the line. I think that's what made the difference for us.
Yeah, for sure. And it's sometimes it is like that. I think that sometimes it doesn't feel right. Like, or maybe you don't feel like the tournament's going in flow, or like De Schluver said, like, but then the team that's going to be bit winning it is like you've touched on, is like you find a way. It'll eventually click. Like it doesn't have to go right from the start, but like you find a way. And that's clearly what you boys put together. Like
Yeah,
it seemed a bit like maybe written, not written for you because you did everything, but like you basically seem to mar both the Dutch flair and attacking hockey with the stuff that maybe has been lacking in the last few years, which is the crazy defensive side, which you just touched on.
yeah, yep, yeah. I think what are you called? Nails on or hammer on the
Hit the
nail?
nail on the head.
Hit the nail on the head. That's it.
I like the
Uh,
hammer on the nail.
yeah. Oh, you makes a joke or makes a mistake in his own language. Ha!
We have
Fucking
to bring
hell.
it down somehow.
And then we'll get on for the like winning goal, Dupe. Like obviously, like how is how crazy has that been? Has it changed your life? Are you still just doing the same shit? You're just still playing golf every day, or like is it feeling different?
I'm playing even more golf. Uh, no, it's like I wouldn't say it changes. Yeah, it does change your life. Like I'm not gonna downgrade it because it's fucking sick, but it's more that I still don't really. It's not that you wake up every day thinking, "Oh, I have Olympic gold." It's more, yeah, everyone else looks a bit different at you. For me, everyone kind of looked down on me because I'm such an idiot. But like now, people actually think, oh, he's like not half bad. But it's more like the realization at a certain point that like the one thing you've been working for your entire hockey career, you won it. And for me, and I think it's the same for you. I think we were a bit in the same boat. Like we were not like Belgium, who it was kind of, yeah, not expected, but like uh, for us it was a dream, but I never really it didn't seem like a real, like it seemed like a dream, if that makes sense. So when it finally happened, it was a bit surreal. I was like, okay, uh, and now, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's a bit it still feels a bit weird. It still doesn't feel real all the time. It's not like my medal is like in my cupboard next to my bed. It's like not that I wear it every day or whatever. um yeah, it's just a bit, it's all a bit surreal. And the weeks after, like the days after we got gold, I haven't been. The first time I was sober, I think the final was on Thursday. The first time I got like somewhat sober was on Monday, the Monday after, and then I started drinking again from Tuesday till the next Sunday. It's like it's such a weird fucking experience. You don't get drunk, you just get fucked, but like you can go all night. It's like, yeah,
you're like riding the high, like
yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
without going too deep on you as well, like we people I read the Hockey NL article, which is a nice article about you last night, but like people are enjoying your story more because you have so many ups and downs. You're not like just well, I mean, I'm just calling a spade a spade. You're not like a Yorick Krone who's going to his fifth Olympics or whatever it is. You've fought against adversity. You've been on a TV show, Where is the Mole, when you're kicking the ball. You've had huge highs. You've won the Europeans 3 times. Then you've got dropped in an Olympic quarterfinal, then you got dropped in a World Cup, and then you've basically shown again and again that you come back and you get better and stronger. And everyone's like, I mean, that's probably why everyone's looking at you differently. Well, in my opinion, is that like you're also a very normal guy. I hate getting soft on this podcast,
Yeah,
but
first it was me, now it's you. What's going on?
yeah, it's a serious message because like it is inspiring and it's cool
Yeah.
to see someone who goes through so many of them, but then you, like I said, you get to the top of the mountain. Do you think it feels more special because you've gone through all that?
Um, Yeah, I think yeah, I think so. I did it like a flashback when I got sick because I got like a virus at the beginning of the tournament when and as I just told, I missed the first two games of the tournament because I got ill. Well, not really ill, I just had a virus, so I couldn't play. And I thought to myself, oh fucking hell, not again. Not some kind of weird shit that I have to explain after to everyone. No, I didn't play because I had some kind of shitty fucking AIDS virus. And then I was like, okay, um, when I played you guys, and I felt because the most stress I had about everything was that if I would come back, because it was kind of clear that I would make a return in the tournament. Uh, most stress I had was like, am I going to be fit? If that makes sense, because I had to vomit quite a lot in from like the night before the first game. Um, I was like, fuck, am I going to lose all the training I've put in? Is it like gone and I'm now not fit again because I've lost so much or whatever? And after we played you guys in 60 degrees in a burning sun, which is like, if you look at me, it's not my typical kind of weather. But but then it felt quite good. I was like, okay, apparently this has to be a part of my story again, that something doesn't go to plan. And yeah, when we won gold, I think that's the good thing. Everyone in our team has some kind of story. Like, also because you talk about Jorrit, but also Jorrit had some adversity in his career with injuries, and being the youngest Olympian ever also creates insane expectations. And I think he had to overcome that as well. And I think he was one of our best players in the tournament, to be honest. So everyone has their own little story and their little chip on their shoulder. And with me, the chip might be just a little bit bigger than others, but like it just felt, yeah, I don't know. Everyone was so like it was such a team effort. Like I felt when you look at Germany when they won the World Cup, it was like Welle's team who like rose above everyone else. Should have been best player of the year or world player of the year, but was just head and shoulders above everyone else. And I think with us, no one really um, rose above everyone else. I think we just had a really good team effort, and some players, like I think Wattle played a really good tournament. I think I did. I played a pretty good tournament as well. Pearman was really good, but like the rest, everyone was like a seven, and everyone just was really good. So it wasn't like someone carried the team. It was just 11 players on the field at all times that were like on.
Every coach's dream, I think, that you just
Yeah.
get every player being a 7 out of 10 every game, and I agree with you. And you've already touched on it then, so we might as well finish off the Joep segment with the Star Awards. Now, this I don't even know how to start this. The star, the world's best player. If you've saw the news, the top five, they sometimes choose six players, sometimes they choose five. I'm not sure how they work that one out, but they nominated the best five players, and our very own Joep de Mol is on the list. Now, my first thought was like, oh, I'm super happy for him. He's played really amazing in the last 12 months. And then I was like, shit, we're doing the podcast. Shit, how do we what do we do? What do we do here?
Well,
So go on,
yeah,
you.
the awards officially lost all dignity right now by having me nominated. There's no value in it anymore because I'm nominated. No, it's yeah, it's. I said to because I of course hockey.nl like immediately called me because they were also surprised probably. Like what the fuck are you doing there? Yeah, I just it feels a bit uncomfortable to be honest. To be completely fair, it feels like I'm a bit yeah, not in over my head, but it's just a bit. I don't know. I've never really seen it rational or like real or realistic for me to be in such a conversation, and I still honestly believe. Yeah, if Germany would have won the final, exact same final, but Germany would have won a shootouts, I would not have been nominated, and it would probably have been another German guy. I think I did really have a really good year. But yeah, it just feels a bit like we've had so many players who've had a really good year in our team. Um, that it's like, yeah, it feels weird to be like individually nominated for something when it's been such a team thing. And yeah, for me, yeah, it's an incredible honor to be nominated. But yeah, I've already sent a bouquet of flowers to Harmanpreet for his win. Summer in India. So
It
Go on
goes
then.
back to like Phil's point though, doesn't it? Of like 21 months ago, you were sat at home whilst the boys were at the World Cup. To then like now, just probably shows how much you've like gone about it the right way. To like get to a point where you're like, even to be nominated, I think it's like ridiculous considering where you were 21 months ago. So again, like just from my point of view as well as what Phil said earlier, like I think it's actually a pretty ridiculous journey. And like how many questions you must have had, and you went and got the answers you needed, and you kind of went about it in the right vein to get yourself to a point where you're one of the better performing players at an Olympics. Like I think that's kind of pretty ridiculous.
yeah, I've done something right in the last couple of months. That's
So
Problem is
so
what?
we've we've been nice enough now, so I'm going to also speak candidly because that's what we're here for. Is that like I still don't understand the awards. Like I can say this while still being very happy for you, but I still don't understand them. I don't understand what the um like who decides how they make their decisions because in my opinion, what the biggest irony of it all is that I thought Hardick was unbelievable this year, and the irony that he won it last year but didn't get nominated this year, and he's been unreal this year.
yeah.
Then you have like does it
Well,
make a difference that you have like Van Orbel, De Sluwe, and Van Doren, who in my opinion are three of the best players and have played really well this year. Um, Van Doren had an incredible like group stage of the Olympics, but because they don't make the quarterfinals, does that automatically eliminate them? And then does that like where does Zach sit with that? Because Zach got nominated but didn't make the semi-finals. Do you guys have a take on that?
I'm pretty
yeah,
similar. I'm pretty similar to you. Like I still don't really understand the criteria. I've tried to like find out more, but there's so many different sides to it. But I'm with you. Like I genuinely thought Hardick was unbelievable. I thought he had an amazing Olympics. I actually thought he like just performed all year. The one year where you think he deserves it is the year he doesn't. In the same way that I genuinely didn't think Permin deserved it last year, but I actually think Permin deserves it this year. But it's like what I really struggle with is exactly what you're saying, Phil. Like if you get knocked out of a quarterfinals, does that mean you're basically null and void? Because ultimately, on the biggest stage, that's when you need your best players in the world to perform. So surely
Like,
that does like.
yeah.
So it's
Sorry,
like I just
I
find it
missed
ridiculous.
I missed the two other ones. Is that first of all, Hannes Muller is probably the fifth best German. Um, like if you're sat there being Velen, you're like, sorry, what the fuck is going on? Like I was still unbelievable at the Olympics. I still
Do
carried my
you?
team.
So,
And then yeah, like I mean, I think you also could have nominated, like I think you said in the article, like five or six Dutch guys. I think there was like Vortel had an unbelievable tournament. Um, Jonas de Hoos was also unbelievable.
so I have a question then. If you, for example, let's say you have an unbelievable year next year, Phil, you get nominated, you win it, but then you still have a great year, but it's not as good as the year you won it. That probably I think that means that you don't get nominated because everyone thinks your norm now is what you were. If that makes sense. So in the case of Velen, because he didn't have as impactful a year as he did for the World Cup, that's why he's not been nominated, regardless of whether or not he's an unbelievable player. Which I also think is why Van Doren doesn't get nominated, why Van Orbel doesn't get nominated, why De Sluwe doesn't get nominated, why so many players don't get nominated. Whereas like someone like a Hannes Muller has come from nowhere when no one really notices him to this year where people have actually noticed how consistent he's been. In the same way that Joep has gone from being out of the team to being in the team, present to being one of the better performing players in the team, which again is why I think someone like Vortel's probably not been nominated because he's also been so consistent over the past few years that almost goes a bit under the radar. Like I
I think
wonder if that has something to play in it.
I think it's also it's not the how do I say it? Like I'm not. I think that the five players who are nominated now are not the five best players, hockey players, if that makes sense. So we're not the top five of the. Look at me. We're no. It's not the top the top five players in the world right now. Like I'm not. I've don't get me. I know for a fact that there's like at least five better players at least than I am. It's just more. I think as you said, it's about the year maybe that I think it's logical the two Dutch guys got nominated. And that's when I also said I think it could have been. I think Thierry was always going to be nominated when we won gold, also because he's the captain and he's like a vital part in our team. But yeah, as you said, I think if Wortel was nominated, no one would have said, "Hey, where's Joep de Mol?" If Jonas was nominated, no one would have said, "Where's Wortel, Joep de Mol?" I think that's a bit. You can only choose two.
Yeah.
I have no clue why they chose me, but here we are. Yeah, I would have really loved Welle to be in there, only for the sheer fact that he's stopping with international hockey, and in my opinion, at the Olympics was still one of the best, maybe the best player there. Yeah, and the whole thing with I think Harmanpreet actually played a really good tournament as well. To be honest, I think Hardik was insane, but it's tough to select two Indians. Yeah, considering everything and also because they won bronze. Yeah, and for me, Wallace, I don't know. I think they probably had to make a choice between like a Wallace, a Van Doren, the Sloven, Van Aubel. You can name everyone. I think Van Aubel has had a for his standards not a great year, but that means like because his standards are so ridiculously high. Like he was injured quite a lot, didn't play a lot of pro league, didn't probably wasn't in his best shape at the Olympics. And yeah, there's a different bar, a different expectation there is for Van Aubel than there is for me, for example. There's a different expectation that there is for Van Doren than that there is for me. I think if Van Doren plays a solid game, no one really feels special about it. And I also think it's a bit of a popularity award. I think if I didn't score the goal against Belgium with the run, you wouldn't be as much in the picture, and I probably wouldn't be nominated. So it's also as simple as that, I think. And because Van Doren does so much shit we don't see, or like the general people don't see, I think that's why a guy like him does get nominated. He's won 2 in a row. I feel people are a bit spoiled by his game. I think that's the main thing.
Agree. And I just, to be honest with you, it just I get a bit frustrated when we're talking about this because it's like, why does it have to only be 5?
Yeah.
Why can't it? But I mean, I'm just repeating myself. But why can't it be 20? And then the right people decide who the 5 are. Like
but then we'd have
because if we're talking about that,
we'd have Jarmanpreet, Harmanpreet, Hardik. We'd have Sukhjit and we'd have Srijesh, and there'd be 5 players available if we went from 20 down to 5.
Well, that is true.
And I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be in the top 5, Phil. So now shut up.
You'd be in the top 20 though, and then you'd be
now I'm in top 5. I would not be in top 5 if we do it like your way.
All right. Starting next year. Starting next year.
Top 60. He'd be in the top 60. He wouldn't be in the top 20. I'm not voting him through.
No, we'll start it next. FI, actually listening, we'll start next year. Joep wants this year. He's in the top 5. That's fine. But next year, maybe rethink it because it's still just infuriating for anyone who watches hockey.
Just on Phil's point, and because you've been nominated, I need to ask the question: how do we rig the votes so that Joep wins? Like, how does it work? Like, we need to really get down into the nitty gritty so Joep can win it.
We have a platform here, not a big one. I mean, it's not like we're going to be able to outvote India, but we could give him a solid second, right? If you care all about Let's Stick Together, if you care all, then create many fake accounts, and vote. We want Joep de Mol winning.
Just out of interest, Joep, if you win, can we make you a special T-shirt that you have to wear when you get your award? Can we make like an LST so it's nothing but pure brand exposure for us?
Yeah, sure, you can do that. We can do that.
Unbelievable.
Now, I want to state 2 things for the record. One is I've always been a huge fan of this award, and I love it. I completely agree with the nomination process and shit. I feel like people are finally opening their eyes and seeing who the real best players are. That's my first thing. No. Second, just leave it at that. That's
okay. Cool. Right.
Always been a fan.
Let's finish the. I mean, we could go into the Star Awards, but maybe we'll talk about it next.
Can you delete shit from Spotify? Can we delete a couple episodes, or is that not possible?
We'll work on that as well. If you've heard it here, you're listening for the first time, Joep loves the Star Awards. We've always been incredibly positive about it, and please go on to FIH and website and vote for Joep.
No, for
and
Cherry. For
and
Cherry.
and vote for Zach as well because
No, and Cherry. We love
oh
Cherry.
no no
Also,
no
Yeah.
let's stick together. We're voting for Zach and Joep. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I voted for
Yeah.
Cherry. No, not kidding. I voted for Cherry.
Um, okay, on to. Well, actually, do you want to? Should we take a break there and we'll come back? 'Cause this has been the Joep segment, so we'll come back after a
I'm
break.
sick of this shit.
Right, we're back. And even though we did a full Joep segment to start with, we're gonna just quickly, because we spoke so nicely about him and he's so big time, we are going to touch on the fact that the Hoof Class has restarted. It's was an exciting start to the weekend, but there was high hopes for Oranje Road, especially from me, David Ames, probably quite a lot of Oranje Road, and they decided to get spanked 7-1 by Amsterdam.
It could have been the other way around. Like, it was pretty close. Okay, I'll start off because I feel like I completely deserve this. One is, I think the score didn't really reflect like the game. No, honestly, I honestly
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Four,
yeah, yeah.
4-5-1, okay, 7-1 is like a bit much. But Amsterdam 1,000% deserved to win. I think 4-5-1 was a bit more realistic. Or 5-2 or 4-3.
Hold on. So when people normally say that 7-1, they're normally like, oh yeah, 2-1 or like 2-all. When they say
No.
it's not a fair reflection. Not we should have lost 5-1, not 7.
Oh, it's brutal honesty. I don't think we deserve to lose like did this big. If I would have lost 4-1, I would have gone home and think, you know what? I can live with this. But 7-1.
Just out of interest, there's no highlights at the moment available. Have OR paid off icons to stop doing it, or like what's going on? Or is Toby Valter like paid them? Like what's going on?
There are.
They're on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, they're on
Oh,
YouTube.
they're on YouTube.
Mm.
Oh, I was looking at icons.
I'll share them on my Instagram. Don't worry.
I wouldn't if I were you.
Mate, it was we actually started the game pretty well. And then I don't know, it all went to shit real quick. I've never been ashamed on a hockey field, but I was at a certain point I was kind of ashamed. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well, this was we don't have to get too deep into it. It's New Look Amsterdam. OR had a bad day at the office.
It's new look OR as well, isn't it?
Yeah, New Look OR.
In my defense, Max Kuipers is injured. The Slover is not playing. We have a new coach, new team, new goalie. Like, everything's a bit new. So give us a fucking break. Yeah?
Okay.
Don't think you're that good already because you just won against a handicapped OR. Don't think you're this.
Oh,
we'll be fucking. We'll win this fucking league. Watch us. Watch this.
OR in a rebuild year.
No, we're not in. We're in fucking go now year.
Okay.
We saved for the first week. We saved some players to like really go at Rotterdam and Pinoquet. Watch. After the next podcast, you're like, oh, you both had a really good week, 2 wins in a row. Yeah, that's where we're going.
I can't wait for that. Right. Let's just.
I don't think so, but
we're gonna loop back to the Olympics. Got a few more things to talk about. Firstly, like we'll touch on the women's side because I mentioned it at the start. The Netherlands women obviously won because we thought they were going to win, but they almost lost to China in the final. Now, I don't think anyone would have called that at the start. Even even the most biased fans weren't going to be like, oh, did Brendan call it? Brendan's got his hand up like he called.
So the one thing I actually did say was I think China will do something that no one expects this tournament.
Did you?
That's exactly what. Yeah, I actually did. I've actually got proof on my phone.
Well,
I've said it for basically a year or two.
Very broad. We'll do something no one expects. Like,
yeah, that is very broad.
Something
do you want me to actually go into it? Basically, what I said was China are the only people during the Pro League that have actually gone and tried to play some hockey, and so they've lost some big scores against like Holland and teams like. So basically, they've only been trying to learn during the Pro League, whereas every other team that goes against Holland goes for like damage limitations. They never learn anything. So then, lo and behold, when it comes to a big game, China actually have a game plan that pretty much 80% are there. They just probably haven't got enough quality at the moment, but they've basically had a game plan based off what they've learned during the Pro League. So like they're the only team that actually use the Pro League for what it should be used for on the women's side. On the men's side, I think it's a lot better. But on the women's side, a lot of teams just basically play against Holland and sit at a half court, lose 5-0, don't learn anything, and we just start again. Whereas like China were the only team that actually tried to play the whole time.
And I think Alison Annan is a fucking weapon. If you could get that, and I think China is like the team for her, as in, it's not, but I feel like if you look at them, that they are very, how do you say it, aware of what they have to do, or they're very focused on their job. So everyone has like a specific job in that team and just is there to fulfill that. They take real pride in what they have to do. And I feel like she's like one of the best coaches in making sure like a structure is there and everything's in place. I feel like I was in the stadium when they somewhat drunk already, so like don't take it too serious what I'm saying. Probably already like shit faced, but like I was watching it, mate. I was fucking nervous because I know like I don't feel people like the Dutch women. Well, they do get the respect, but I don't feel like if you're such a favorite, if you're like the miles above, like buildings above the rest, like it is big fucking pressure. Because I felt like I don't want to say that they were relieved when they won, because I feel like if you win Olympic gold, it doesn't matter. Like you're always just in ecstatic, but you saw like holy fuck, this is not happening to us on the field a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like the pressure they must, and that's why it's so incredible what they're doing for the last 8 years. The pressure these girls have is insane.
Yeah. And actually, for the first time you saw it, first of all, it kept panning to Alice Nanan, and she knew, you could tell she'd set them out. She knew exactly what she was doing. But she also like knew it was a free go for her. There was no expectation on her. It was basically like, she's obviously set out her team and it was just a go and see if you can do something special. And it clearly freed up the Chinese players and they actually played really well. But for the first time, you're looking around the Dutch team and you're like, they're feeling this. And they're normally so far away. You know, they haven't felt them type of pressure moments for obviously probably a long time because they've been so much better. But yeah, it was fascinating. And I was in somewhat disbelief watching that game, being like, is this actually happening? Like, could this happen? And then it turns out, well, no, it can't, because the Dutch are still good at shootouts, it turns out, even though they must never practice them.
Yeah, and but also back on Allison, but I saw it, but I didn't really notice it. But then I listened to Parlez-vous Hawkeye from Orchard. And
by the way, that's a really good podcast. So shout out Diamond Orchards. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's really I really enjoyed. I listened to I think I listened to every episode because I really I liked it. And what's his name, Cliffo? Yeah, they're good. They seem like a good time. But he also said that like Allison, I don't know which game it was. But like he said that after China won, and I think it was against after the quarterfinal or after the semi-final, the camera went to Allison, and all the girls from China were like happy and almost crying. And Allison just went in the huddle and said, "Stop fucking crying! Stop fucking crying! We belong here. Don't think we don't belong. We belong here." And like that's like, you could run through a brick wall if someone does that. And I think that's what she's doing. So it kind of intrigues me how well she's doing that.
And I guess it would be fascinating to see someone like maybe more teams learn and see if they can challenge Holland, because that is the problem with Dutch hockey's got such a big following, the women, and obviously they're incredibly popular, but like all neutral fans, normal fans just do want a bit of competition on that side now, don't they?
Yeah, and I think it is slowly growing, and I think this generation of Dutch players is like now like 28, I think most of them. I think Sander Waard, Sanne Kolen, Pien Sanders, like all the top players are like getting a bit not old, but they're getting to an older age. And I think in LA, if some teams will keep developing, like Belgium has a pretty young team and are on the rise. Now China showed. I think Argentina needs to make a couple steps, but then at least it will get more competitive.
Yeah, for sure. So moving on, we've got to probably talk about GB a little bit. We've got to talk about some other Olympic stuff. Like, as I'm hoping that people watch the Olympics. First of all, it was like it was. I'm sure you can back me up. It was and Bren, because I know that you watched all of it and like how good Paris actually was to watch as a spectator sport, as like to be a part of. I think they did a phenomenal job, bar the food. And yeah, like what a couple of weeks. I mean, we had a strange one because I guess I related to what you said about De Sluver saying is that like never feeling like you're truly in the tournament. We had a really weird 4-0 win to start with, where Spain had a bunch of chances, but we were super clinical. We then went and drew a really feisty game against South Africa 2-all. Then we had our game against Joep where it was a 2-all. We probably, yeah, it was tough to say that we deserved a point there, but like scrapping it out, we felt like that was a real good result for us. Scrapping, like we managed to play against Arthur Tiefri, who we've bitched about on this podcast, but had his best game of his life against us, and scrape a 2-1 win against France, and you start thinking, okay, this is like what's going on here, and then lose to Germany in the last group game to set up an India quarterfinal, which, by the way, I think it was the exact same quarterfinals that it was in Tokyo.
Yeah, it was.
That happened in Paris. Was super weird as well. So almost exactly like the exact same rankings or something like that. And we went in still confident, still ready to beat India. Now, for anyone who watched, there's no excuses going on here. We lost to 10-man India where we played against them for 30, 40 minutes, something like that. 43. You know that?
Yeah.
43 minutes we played against 10-man India. Personally, I've never seen a red card in international hockey before. Have either of you?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No, that was also a
Yeah, you guys had it in Commonwealth Games, right? The Canada guy.
oh yeah,
yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decent. Maybe it's just us.
Rightfully so, it was a red. I think it was a red card. Like the amazing thing about like going to big tournaments like the Olympics is like they have cameras absolutely everywhere. They can slow-mo everything. The drone was insane. And
Spider.
Spider Cam, that's the one. And it seemed at the moment of that going to 10 men seemed like it was like going to be our day. And then what I kind of forgot about and realized maybe later in the second half is like we've thrived for the last 2.5, 3 years on playing open, expansive, fast hockey. And what that did was slow the game down and forced India to do something special, which is they defended for their lives. They did exactly what Joep said Holland did. They put their left hand down. We still created numerous, like I think, good enough chances to win that game. But sport is chaos. Sport is cruel. Sports is what it is. And I sat back from that experience and thought like, okay, we weren't good enough. But if one thing changes, then we probably sit and say we scraped a 2-1. We fought hard against it. We hit the post. If that goes in, if one of the amazing shots that Sri just saved does go in, we probably sit there and say we did the right thing. So
I feel because the moment it happened, we were watching the game, and the moment it happened, we were with we were sat with a couple guys and we said there's two teams in the world for who this is like the worst thing that could happen, and it's England and it was us. I think we would be a bit because we have like also some, but like your entire play is like you said is built on running, on like you guys have guys who run at least 12 kilometers a game. It's like fit run and gun hockey. And now you had to play against like a quad, like a small zone the entire game, not be able to run. All the quick guys were like, the back line is there too soon. Like I think, and that's not a dig on you guys, but I think if Germany or if Belgium would have come in that situation, they would have won 5-6-0. We also would struggle because we're also a team that likes to run with the ball, like have open play, go. You know, that's why we struggled against Germany in the final. But the moment it happened, we were like, "Ooh, I don't know if this is that good for GB." Yeah, and it's not now to sound really wise because it's not, but like because you guys could have easily won it 3-1, and no one would have said, "Hey, that's not right." But it was a weird fucking game, and that's why all the quarterfinals were weird. Spain, you felt in the game Spain against Belgium as well. You felt okay, but there's something happening there. Like Belgium is not themselves. They're losing balls. The one thing they're good at, no, not the one thing, but something they're really good at is keeping the ball for like 5 minutes. Everyone has to run behind the ball, and like with them, I know it was weird.
Yeah, and then you reflect on these things where like you think that sometimes stuff's like, I mean, I reflected thinking like Sreejesh was amazing, and again, no excuses, but he played a game where they needed him most, and he made 5 or 6 like amazing saves, like including the shootout as well. So I thought it was wrong to not talk about. Bren, have you got any way in here?
Not really, to be honest. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, ultimately, you guys created enough chances to win. Just didn't necessarily take them. Ultimately, when they needed them most, Sreejesh pulled out. And I think what's like I really struggle with is when people comment on. So, like, obviously not being in the group, being outside, the amount of people that were saying like, "Oh, why didn't they take the goalkeeper off?" and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, because it only cramps it even more. Like, it makes it even harder. Like, the lack of understanding of like grow up. The lack of like understanding for me is like ultimately GB did enough to win that game. That's the crux of it.
So,
but you didn't win it, so it's like, okay, well, actually, did you create enough chances? Yeah, right. Okay, well, you just didn't take them then. And that's like, that is what elite sport is at that level. And as you say, like, it's cruel, but that's also the reason we play it, because we've also been on the opposite end of. I remember we played against Germany away and we had one chance and we scored 1 goal and we won 1-0. And they must have had about 15, 16 chances and they just couldn't pull the back of the net. It's like, it is just the way sport works sometimes.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's a bit the same like we had on Saturday versus Amsterdam. It just didn't want to fall. Like, we were so close. It just didn't go our way. Yeah, sometimes.
I think what was really hard for me watching was the fact that like,
your dick.
It didn't necessarily feel like GB played as well as they have done previously. But again, the game dictates it because they're playing so compact and they're so deep. It doesn't play to our strengths. So then you've got to have that something a little bit different. And I don't necessarily know if we had that this tournament.
Yeah.
And again, it's the beauty of the tournament and how it works out is the fact that when you're playing against India, the last thing you expect to play against when India are playing against you is a 40-yard press with a man down. Because they just don't do that. Then it's not how they play.
And there's a couple of like finishing points. There's first of all, like I've had to say this a lot on the podcast, but like when you're playing in them big moments, you like have a lot of like people who then reflect and people who've never watched hockey before and people who get passionate about it, which is incredible. But then you get the opposite side of that of people being like, you know, the hate that you get afterwards and the like I kind of like was kind of happy because it means that people care, people wanted you to do well, but it didn't go well, and then you have to take the flack. I got my first bit of Instagram hate, which was really funny, which I really enjoyed. It was like,
what did you get?
It was something like, "You're a bottler, mate." Ha 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 ha. So I was like, but what my point was that like
I didn't send that.
Oh, it must have been.
I did.
You learner. My point with it was that like everyone's going to start saying now, including like the team or the staff or the fans or the supporters or the board or whatever it is, it's like you failed, but that doesn't mean you have to like chuck the baby out with the bathwater. It doesn't mean that we've done everything we've done for the last. You don't know what that means, Joep.
Chuck the baby out of the bathwater
with the bathwater.
Basically, you don't have to chuck everything away just because it didn't necessarily go the way you hoped it would.
And that said, chuck the baby.
It's like if you've got an idea, right, and you've got a philosophy, just because it didn't go well, it doesn't mean you have to get rid of the whole thing.
What does a baby have to do with it? You throwing the baby away?
Well, because you get rid of the bathwater, you don't get rid of the baby. The baby is.
I was going to say you don't put the baby down the drain and keep the bathwater, do you?
Yeah, but what's it again? You chuck the baby
out with the bathwater. Don't out with the bathwater.
Oh, you don't. Oh, you don't chuck it. I was like, why the fuck would you throw the baby away with water?
My main point was, it was like, we don't have to get rid of what we've done, all of the good work we've done in the last 2 or 3 years, because we can just build on that. It doesn't mean that just because it went wrong, you know, in India against India, it was wrong. So yeah, I was gonna end the conversation there, but I shouldn't have used such a strange analogy to a Dutchman.
It's a little bit different, but I liked it.
Lastly, last thing of the Olympics is like we'll talk about the Tom Craig thing. He's now been banned by Hockey Australia for 12 months. If anyone doesn't know, he got caught at the end of the tournament buying some cocaine.
Have you not seen the nuance of it?
No.
They've basically said he's banned from any Australian competitions. So Hockey India League is fine, and playing in Europe is fine. You just can't play in Oz for 12 months. So that's pretty decent. Here, mate, have a sabbatical for 12 months where you can just go and do what you want. Don't worry about it.
I want to pitch in on this because I think I feel like that he only did something like for Australia wrong. As in, why would this guy be banned from hockey for the rest of his career? Like I know,
he never took it. Like, well, unofficially.
Yeah, but having said, like it was really stupid of him, and he knows that, everyone knows that, and let's be honest, he was not doing it all by himself probably. So let's be real. But
that was going to be my question.
The guy was just incredibly unlucky, incredibly stupid, and I think that's about it. I think he probably regrets everything that has happened. But are we going to be like here sitting like the guy lost the quarterfinal thing he wanted to have a good night? Yeah, went all to shit. Yeah, what are we talking about? I think it was really stupid, but I also think it got like, yeah, how do you say it? It's like the hockey world. Everyone wants to blow it up even more.
It's wrong place, wrong time, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you're right. We're not sat here being like we're not like criminalizing him. We're not saying he's a terrible bloke. He made a mistake. We're reporting it and saying like, I'm sure he's still young. He's going to come back and play some more hockey. And he's in Germany right now. And speaking of India League, it means I actually didn't even realize this, but Joep is now. I mean, we should do a Let's Stick Together team now, Brendan, because Joep's guaranteed big money.
Yeah,
but he's not going to split it with me.
I didn't sign up. I did not sign up for India League.
What?
No, I didn't sign up.
Yeah, he's got a rebuild year with OR. He's got a rebuild year with OR, mate. That's the problem. He's got a lot of behind the scenes for January.
No, hear me out. This was my thought process, and I want people. Do I regret not signing up? Maybe a bit after yesterday, but I thought, okay, sign up for the hill. Am I going 6 weeks? And it's the 50% of the whole thing is in Rourkela. I thought 6 weeks. I have to go for 6 weeks to India. Do they know the difference between Justin Blok and Joep de Mol? Probably don't. They'll probably buy me for like whatever. If they buy me, it's like, oh, he has Olympic gold, so we'll buy him. It's a defender. He doesn't really score. It's like, well, okay, 15,000 euros. After taxes, it's 7,500 euros. Am I going for 7,500 euros for 6 weeks to India, to Rourkela, to sit there? I was like, no, not going to do that. I want to go like a trip to Australia and New Zealand coming up with the Dutch team. I was like, I'd way rather go for 3 weeks to Australia and New Zealand than I go to India. Now,
Gareth Bale. We know who the real Gareth Bale is now, don't we? That OR contract's looking pretty nice, isn't it?
Oh, mate, that's it's coming from the guy who's had his 7th club in 2 years. And like, first he, I don't know, what's the name of your old team again?
Which one?
Yeah, the last, what's it called? Hampstead? No, not Hampstead.
Holcomb,
yeah. Holcomb completely bankrupt now. You know what? I feel we can't pay you anymore. Oh, fuck you, I'll go to OGs.
They're not. They've made...
They are not. They're bankrolled, if anything.
Overpaid player. I was on a video call with David Ames for an hour yesterday. We came to the conclusion that you are the most overpaid player in the history of OGs.
He is an absolute. You two are a couple of.
Nibble.
I mean, fair play to you. I gave you some shit. You came right back at me.
Of course, David Ames didn't say that. Of course, he didn't. I did.
Yeah, 100% did.
Yeah, Ames 100% would have said that.
Just stokes the fire.
No, but that's why I just thought.
What about the chance to spend 6 weeks with your good friend Phil?
Yeah, but mate, there's 8 teams. It was 8 weeks with my friend Phil. You're probably in a whole other team.
I put my
And-
notes down. I put it on the notes at my application. I said I must play with Joep de Mol.
You didn't. You did. And also, you did that because you thought that fucking lanky man is not being bought. And now all of a sudden people think, oh, you can actually play hockey, and I get like this really weird nomination. And now I thought, oh, maybe I should have just sent in my name. I might still send in my name. Hey guys.
Yeah, just do it. Surely they'll do it. It's their Star Awards. They'll be keen for you to be there.
Hey guys, didn't want to sign up, but here I am.
And here's a video clip of me scoring a goal against Belgium in Utrecht.
Or if there's a live auction, you just turn up to the auction, just see if you can just get picked up just there.
Yeah, like this, like, hey, sup fuckers. Yeah.
With like a LeBron James style suit that's like 3 times too big for you. It'd be class.
Yeah. No. I still stand with what I said, but it just hurts a bit more now. That's the but yeah, just watch this. Maybe I'll still sign up, even though it's closed.
To be honest, you 3 weeks in New Zealand / Australia or 6 weeks in India is a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You want rotis on tap, son. You want rotis on tap.
Is it called rotis? Are they rotis? Rotis?
Oh, depends where you're from. You've changed, mate. You've not got a northern accent anymore.
No, fair enough.
Yeah,
Rotis, darling, rotis.
Have a roti. Roti. Get us roti.
Roti. Get us roti, mate.
Right. That is, I mean, I know that. Do you still have a coupe, or is it like a golden
Save
palace
it for next
coupe?
week.
Well,
Save it for next week. He's too big time these days. He hasn't had enough time. He's been drunk all the time.
I'll save it for next week. I've been too busy celebrating my gold medal and shit, so I didn't.
Is there a next week, Brendan? You're the one who's like saying this. Brendan needs time. Everyone.
I don't know. I'm moving house. I'm moving country, Phil. It's a lot. It's a lot on my plate.
Country.
Moving to the USA.
But I thought you were playing hockey in Boden.
I'm playing the first 2 games, and then I'm gone for 3 months.
Let's work.
We'll
this
save
out.
this for next week.
Yeah, this is a next week topic. Brendan's confusing life coming in episode 2. This has been a special episode, maybe episode 1 of season 7. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, get in touch if you've got any questions for Joep or Brendan or me.
And cook shit. What do you call it? Cook.
Yeah, Joep he's forgotten already what he does.
Coop shit.
Coop shit. Now that hurts me a little bit, but okay. I need to put it's officially happened.
I'm in the coop with you. I'm
So
going
good. So good. Coop shit. So good.
This has been Let's Stick Together, the special episode of Golden Joep in his coop. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.